so nice to come here, and I must say that I'm really reliving my college dreams. 440. Never thought that in India we will ever get a marble to in fact write such a strong and such a imaginative product.
Absolutely, glad to be seeing you.
Thank you very much.
And entirely developed by in-house R&D center of Hero at our CIT Jaipur in collaboration with our Germany counterparts, and of course building on the same 440cc platform on which we launched the Harley-Davidson X440. I would invite you to our Jaipur R&D center.
Mr. Gupta, once again, welcome to the show, and it must be a great feeling. I mean, in a quick time, there has been nothing short of a magical turnaround for Hero Moto Corp. There were legacies of past which in a sense had created multiple headwinds for the brand, but the brand has managed to make a comeback. The company's managed to make a comeback. The share price has managed to make a comeback. So I'm sure you must be excited, happy, and delightful the way our markets have responded and the way your customers have responded.
Absolutely excited, but I would still add that not yet satisfied.
Okay, why is that?
And because I think we've just started, or not started, I would say. There is a legacy of 40 years which is very strong. And that platform is so strong, the potential of the brand is so huge, still lot to be untapped. And the way we have embarked with speed on our premium journey, launching 4-5 models in the last 12 to 18 months and more to come. I think there's a lot of story to still pan out. We are focusing on brand, focusing on models, portfolio, focusing on stores, premium stores, a lot of action at our end. Effectively, as I had talked about earlier, given the strong platform that we have, it is about changing gears. And changing gears is moving with speed and powered by the 4S that I talk about, speed, scale, synergy and simplification.
So why this turnaround has happened in last 18 to 24 months? I mean, it is a brand which understands the market consumer. It's a brand which has dominated the India two-wheeler market with more than 50-60% market share. But somehow things had plateaued. And now they are coming back like a J.
So look, one is of course the market led, where I would say that COVID had made an impact, adverse impact. Customers are coming out of that. The sentiment is turning positive. We see the macroeconomic indicator powered by capex spends on one side by the government, and the other side I would say expansion of digital inclusion and financial inclusion. So that's sort of lifting up the economic sentiment and the spending sentiment. That's one. But internally, as a company, our shape of portfolio we are changing.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. So for instance, we were known so far only for large parts up to only 125cc.
Yes.
At best in premium, we would have 1 or 2 models. Yeah. Now, when you have a powerful portfolio, which we have, of the commuter entry end, then you do need equally powerful portfolio at premium end to be able to justify yourself as a premium player, which is where we said that we'll not go with 1 model or 2 models. We will change the entire portfolio and therefore launch multiple models without waiting for success of 1 model and sequentially doing it. So that's why you saw Charisma, Harley-Davidson X440, Maverick 440. I mean, that segment, imagine from 125cc going to not only 200 but straight to 440cc, launching them in quick span of time and more to follow. So that was one big change. The second change was brand association, because as a lot of people have been saying, because you get known to be a commuter brand, how do you associate? So you need a brand association, which is where our partnership with Harley-Davidson that we did created that change on part of that. Third, is you can do the brand change or imagery, you can put a portfolio, but then the stores have to have a different look.
Yes.
That's why we said we can't do sequentially, because by the time you do those, the brands would die or the models would die. So in parallel, we started revamping our stores, which we are calling Hero 2.0, with the speed that we haven't seen before. So like we are now 370 stores upgraded in last 370 days. That's almost 1 store per day. And I would actually invite you to visit to one of these stores. And maybe next time we should do an interview in those stores so that we can show you what the change that we are making. In fact, yesterday, I was in Ahmedabad on the market visit with the leadership team. And the dealers there are saying that the customers, the profile of customers who would never visit us, they are now coming. So people with iPhones, people with this. In fact, they're saying the Hero 2.0 stores at many places are actually becoming selfie points.
Oh, wow.
So that's exactly verbatim from one of the dealers in Ahmedabad. So I think a lot of those things are changing. Other than in the stores, not just physical, Nikunj, what we are doing is the digital play as well. So it's a full phygital. So right from the website, customer experience, down to store, and maybe later we should actually focus and take you through the entire digital journey that's going to become a very powerful driver of growth in future. So it's all round change that we are bringing in on the premium end, and that's also going to rub off on our rest of the portfolio.
But just to clear the air, this whole historical data which says two-wheeler demand is a function of rural economy. Now the rural economy has not made a comeback. If I look at, let's say, consumer durables are growing, but consumer staples are not growing. HUL is talking about a 2% growth, but you are committing to a double-digit growth for not only your company but also for the sector. So can I say that this entire good old comparison of rural India has to do well for two-wheelers to do well, that's all passé now?
Absolutely passé. Clearly passé. And I would say, look, rural, also the division, and I also have this debate with my sales team. This whole division is a very simplistic division of rural and urban. India is a story of many Indias. In every state, there is a class of customers who want more premium, and there's a class of customers who want more affordable. So it's not like you can cut India into this rural part. Even in Vino, you can see the 350 cc's and the 400 cc's in villages of Punjab and XYZ, which are typically rural. So I think that is passive surely, because you see, for instance, the premium segment has probably grown at 20% per annum in the last 2 years, and that is not just coming from cities. It's coming from parts of so-called rural areas as well. So I don't think the sectors now you link two-wheeler to just the rural part of it. I think that's passé. Of course, it's a key because it's a key enabler as well at the base. It's very important because see, if you look at it, like we have defined our strategy. We have said there is a core, which is all the entry and this thing. There's still the penetration levels are low. I mean, if you simply say, if I have to convert every home from cycle to motorcycle, and if you go to the towns and the cities and the villages on that, there's huge opportunity there. There we have to work on affordability, which is not about price reduction. It's about digitally including financial inclusion, finance EMIs, all that sort of effort that you do. That our role there is to grow the category. The next category is about upgrades, where people want aspirational, thoda upgrade, premiumization. And the third is a premium per se. So I think it's the three types of customers, and it's not that they are geographically split, they are in every geography which are there. So which is why I don't think that in future we can only say that two-wheeler will do well, only if rural will do well.
So if I have to draw a parallel for the benefit of our viewers, post-COVID, we've seen a big change in the four-wheeler market, which is that SUV now accounts for 55% market share. Small cars are less than 50% now. Is that same factor at play in the two-wheeler market as well, where the sector will grow and the premium biking market will be the surprise factor?
Nikunj, I would actually, a little bit modified here. So one, see, the premium growth has outstripped in the last 2 years. Those are the type of customers who have come to party first. But the customers at the entry segment are also going to come to party very soon. For instance, I'll tell you, in our fiscal year 24 so far, YTD February, our overall volume growth was 6% that we reported. Revenue growth is 10% plus, which is what double digit we guided. If I split the 6%, simplistically rural urban, rural is 8% growth, and urban is 4% growth for our portfolio. For our portfolio, which is not so much premium. So effectively meaning that if you look at the growth in the rural, it is coming back. And places like Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh are already clocking double-digit volume growth in the rural areas. Places like UP, Bihar are still to catch up. So I would say that that will also come to the party. So each segment, it's not like a segment is migrating. There are customers specific for each segment. Few have come to the party already, which is upper and middle. And the middle and the lower will come to the party very soon.
So, Mr. Gupta, let's divide the revenue pie of Hero Moto Corp into your classification of bread and butter business, premium business, and the new launches. How is that entire pie looking like now?
The pie will change in the next 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years is a long time.
So pie means from a revenue contribution point of view. But if you look at a model lineup point of view, so we had, let's say, 2 models in the premium segment. Extreme 160 and X Pulse. Okay. And if you look at our rest of the portfolio, we had Glamour, Super Splendor, Passion, and HF. Four and then two which were launched recently. Now if you see that on top of the two, we've added Charisma, we've added Maverick, we've added HDX 440. So I've got now 5 models in the premium and 5 models in the up to 125. So actually it's now equally split from model lineup perspective. And moving forward, you will see even more launches in the premium. Revenue from these, obviously as we are launching this, it will take time to come up. You know, of course, we've had a great start to Harley-Davidson X 440 with 30,000 bookings, you know, to begin with.
Is that an impressive number?
That's an impressive number because in 1 month we got that. And honestly, you know, then we had to take decision to scale up capacity. That look, we need to do that because remember, this HDX 440 is priced at a 35% premium to the other bikes that sell in that segment. So again, like I told you, we're focusing on the revenue part of it. And what is interesting is that initially when we priced it, some people were saying that, you know, see, it's very misnomer to take a price cut of the segment and say beyond 2.25 lakhs, there's no segment or segment falls. It doesn't work that way. The models were not there. Now, even in Harley, we have got these 3 price segments. The highest one is 2,79,000, and then below that's 259, 239. You'll be surprised that 80% of our demand of the Harley-Davidson X is actually at 279.
It's a higher end.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the story. That's the story of India now, where people are becoming more aspirational. It is now more aspirational India, more optimistic India. And of course, as that comes to the party, as I said, with CapEx, with inclusion, digital, financial, the Bharat part, as we say, is also coming to the party soon.
But if I look at the entire two-wheeler market and
Yeah.
I'm looking at incumbents, I'm looking at Hero Moto Corp, Bajaj,
Yeah.
TVS.
Yeah.
Let's add what strategies they are following.
Yeah.
Bajaj is export dominated. Hero Moto Corp has mixed on what really could be called as an export way.
Yeah.
You moved into electric vehicles, but a late entrant. And scooters, you also started late. Was it a conscious strategy post-split that you would only focus on in the Indian market and that too also the entry-level bikes, and which is what you want to change now?
So no, again, let me just recap the you know, the model lineup that we're talking about. We talk about HF, Splendor, Passion, and then Super Splendor, and then Glamour. Yeah, the 5 that we talked about. Extreme 125cc also we've launched, which is again a premium model within the 125. So you can actually call it premium. So that's 5-6 models we're talking about. Splendor has been the bread and butter, and now we are extending it across. As far as the so one is our portfolio play is going to be moving up, and therefore in the premium, which is almost 1/3 of the motorcycle. The second is geographically, like what you're asking. So where as an industry has almost 25% of revenues which come from international markets. In our portfolio, it's close to around just 5%.
Exactly.
The reason is, of course, that earlier we were not exporting. Then, of course, Hero Honda, obviously we split. Then we started entering the market. So the first phase was about establishing footprint in as many markets as we can. Because you don't know where you will be succeeding, where you will be failing. So we actually entered 50 markets. Now we have what we have said is that fine, we'll nurture markets, those markets. Out of those, we will put disproportionate focus on top 10 markets out of that. So which means 80% of our all resources which go into international business will go towards the top 10. And the balance will get 20% of the resources, we'll nurture them efficiently. And there'll be new entries which are based on size of the prize or strategy, like Brazil, some parts of Southeast Asia we are evaluating, we've announced Philippines. So that way, I would say the change is that phase 1 is done, phase 2 is scale up. You can't scale up all the market at the same time. So therefore, it's again, more focused prioritization. Let's pick up the 10 markets like Nigeria, like Colombia, like Bangladesh, some of the other markets which have got more size and better potential, put more resources there, more power there. And that's the next phase that it should contribute in the revenue shape of the portfolio.
I'll like to draw
So growth driver actually.
Growth drivers are coming. So export will start kicking in. Right now it's not there, but 2-3 years it will.
Absolutely.
It could be 20% of the portfolio.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't give out a number, but okay. I would say that the first step is to get to a 10% and then to a 15% and take it on from there.
Ambition is to go there.
Absolutely. Ambition is keep growing. The shape of those revenues into the portfolio.
You know, Bhavesh came on my show, and he said the following: that Nikunj, you got to be cognizant of global warming. Be realistic here. Ice has started melting. Is EV a real threat?
So let me explain it. First of all, yes, in terms of the powertrains, I wouldn't say threat. I would say that multiple forms of powertrain are going to coexist. Even within ICE, it's not just traditional ICE. There's a flex fuel being talked about. There are other form factors being talked about. There's EV, which is there. There probably sometimes later there could be hydrogen-based technology that will come.
So you started working on these things?
Multiple, yeah, R&D is working on all those. So multiple forms of powertrain will exist. Now coming to EV, if you see the structure of the market, 65% is motorcycles, 35% is scooter. Where are all the players coming into? Scooters.
Scooters.
Not motorcycles. Not because they just like scooter. It's because the current technology, the BOM cost, the battery, is only amenable for scooters. The moment you put on a motorcycle, you will have 2x, 3x cost and increased weight. So the whole technology has to change. So right now we are talking scooters. EV penetration in scooters. So remember, you know, ICE is 65% and then 35%. And it's within the scooter that we are talking about. And again, India is a story of many Indias. You know, you will have pockets of preferences because finally customer has to decide. So I think like we have put in, like others have put in, and for scooters, actually we are under indexed in our ICE portfolio because we only have around 8 to 10% market share in scooters. So actually more EV in scooter is accretive for Hero. So in a sense, it's a game that suits us where there's more EV. Of course, environment friendly, that's a key thing which goes, but from a portfolio which you're asking perspective, it's actually accretive because we are not the leader in scooters. And our teams have already started working on the motorcycles, EV as well. Although the current technology, it will not be affordable. So therefore, we started working on the performance motorcycles. We've collaborated with Zero. We signed up a collaboration agreement. And that should also, in next couple of years, 2-3 years, we'll see the motorcycle coming on ground. So we started working on all of those. But I think to write off ICE would probably be, I wouldn't say lack of understanding. I would say it requires more understanding of the two-wheeler market.
And they both can coexist actually.
Absolutely, they will. If you look at solar and thermal, if you look at remember Nikunj in 2005 and 6, people said that crude oil will vanish, and then biofuel and biodiesel. It can never happen. The scale at which it operates, and finally economics decides, right? And therefore the demand supply based on that, one will have to have multiple forms of energy that will coexist. Of course, there's focus on ICE segment itself becoming more fuel efficient. And two ways. One is BS6, which happened. There's further, these OBD2 things are coming in. Plus mileage. You improve mileage efficiency, and therefore what happens is you consume less fuel. So these are becoming more and more fuel efficient, and therefore then EV comes in scooter. Then there are other technologies which will come, flex fuels, etc. So multiple forms of powertrain energy will coexist.
But if you have to, let's say, summarize our today's interaction, can I say that the last 3 years for Hero Moto Corp versus next 3 years would be dramatically different? The 4S which you mentioned, they are all at play. Speed, systems, scalability.
Speed, scale, synergy and simplification.
So everything is at play.
Absolutely.
So we are looking at growth coming back. We are looking at margins being higher than the historical average. And we are looking at Hero is now ready to really demonstrate their engineering excellence.
Oh, absolutely. You are absolutely right. I mean, engineering excellence is a big point because it's come of age. Remember, it was just established in 2016. And from there to now, all these models are coming out from those centers.
What is this?
So this is Pleasure Plus. This is our scooter, which is actually
everything's made in India.
Absolutely. So now all the models, premium models that you see, all are made. I mean, you look at, a company, iconic company like Harleydavidson, a brand like that, when they visited our center, facilities, it's not like you sign an agreement just like that and give license for an iconic brand. So I think, and then the models which have been launched. So engineering excellence absolutely is coming of age. We are up there now. And therefore, all these things coming together and built on the strong legacy and the brands that exist, I think, we should look forward to exciting times in future.
You've given a guidance that your growth will be higher than the industry average.
Yes.
What is the industry average according to you?
So I'll not put a number. What we have guided to is that we expect industry to grow revenue terms double digit. I don't like a volume growth term myself. And we have said that we will grow ahead of that, which means that we should gain market share. And the reason for that is very simple, what I just talked about. It's all the new models in the premium segment that we are launching. 125cc, where we had lost market share for a while. We've now launched Extreme 125R, and deliveries have just started. I was again in one of the dealers in Baroda, and they had their first delivery. People are really happy with that product. So I think our new launches will power the market share increase, which is going to happen, along with, of course, parts of rural coming back, because we have 60–70% market share there. And I just talked about that there are green shoots in few of the states. The last 10–11 months, the growth has been higher in rural than urban. So that will also power. So therefore, our portfolio, which is at the entry segment, will help us overall market share gain, because rural is going to come back. And of course, at the upper end, because of our new model launches. That gives us the confidence that this will increase. Of course, all the other parameters are also in play.
The categories which you represent are extremely price sensitive. So when you're gaining market share back, it really has to be either at price or it really has to be an experience. I'm assuming that price is no longer the constraint. That's what I can make out from the conversation.
Yeah, Nikunj. Actually, I would say that we have done tons of analysis. You take any category of two-wheeler, let's take entry.
Okay.
You take 125, you take 150, 160, you take any one. The highest market share is of a model that is highest priced.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even in
do this
rural
analysis.
India?
Yeah, yeah.
So sasta, sundar, tikau,
no, it is not sasta. Sasta people don't like, because sasta is equal to cheap.
Okay.
It is a value.
Okay.
So obviously, at that end, they look for more value. Now, the value definition to them is longer lasting.
Okay.
Yeah, because you need more sturdy vehicle.
What is the average life cycle of a Hero Moto Corp bike?
Oh, you can keep running it. I mean, I know customers who run it for 15–20 years
15–20
and they still run it.
Okay.
So, but the point is that exactly. So at that end, you want a product that will last longer, a product that will go further as much as it can based on 1 liter of fuel. That means fuel efficiency, to put it very simple terms, and then a financing which can allow them a down payment which is easy. Yeah, and that's it. They're not saying sasta product though.
Okay. So the market is no longer that price sensitive as we think.
Value sensitive.
Value
And the
sensitive.
definition of value is different in different segments.
Okay.
The value in premium is coming from performance, which means that race, acceleration, yeah, connectivity features, that's value for them. Value there is these three factors. So the moment you focus on that, like HF Deluxe is priced at 5–7% premium to actually all other entry bikes, but we have 60% market share. Splendor, yeah, which it is at 80% market share plus in the 110cc deluxe segment, and it is priced at almost 10% above any other bike in that segment. And you take even competition. Yeah, you look at TVS Raider, which was launched, which is a higher price. It's not that they undercut the price and took the market share. But every segment, people look for value, and it's the communication of that value, that how you communicate to the customer and how do you provide that, where that value really people are satisfied, key buying factors. That makes the difference, not a ticket price.
And just to wrap it up with one
Yeah.
final question, we are in March 2024. Hypothetically, I'm going to take the clock forward.
Yes.
3 saal aage.
Yeah.
2027. 24, 25, yes. Basic maths, but I'm getting it right, 2027. What do you think we are likely to discuss? Today, what we are discussing is the comeback. Today, we are discussing the 4S strategies. Could there be another S, which could make it 5S? Could there be another A in front of, in the middle of an S? What are we likely to discuss?
I'll tell you. So we've discussed 4S.
Yeah.
I think 3 years down the line, you will be asking us about the 5th S, that how did you get to this 5th? And that S is success.
Right, so nice to hear that. Congratulations, and you really made the impossible look very easy. I mean, frankly, last couple of years, I've had the honor of tracking Hero Moto Corp as a company when I started my television career, because I started in Delhi. So Hero Moto Corp was the go-to company in Delhi for all of us. But I think it just got rusty slightly. There were a lot of headwinds which you had to encompass. But I can safely say that the headwinds have now turned into tailwinds. There is a lot of opportunity, and now that high growth phase for Hero Moto Corp is coming back.
I would only say that these are all white spaces for us.
Okay.
And anything where we see that maybe we have not moved ahead so fast in the past, I would look at that as an opportunity for the future. So otherwise I would have struggled where to make the difference. I think we can see lots of opportunities, and it's going to be exciting times.
And the change has just about started. The flywheel effect will actually be more and more.
Absolutely.
Economy, scale, size,
Absolutely,
everything will
absolutely,
kick in.
absolutely. Even the country, Bharat, India, those dividends also will come into play. When these models start firing on revenue, on volumes, because when you launch, they're like, children, like you put them, as they grow, then of course, each of them are power brands in themselves.
So the Prime Minister is calling his third term pitch as Modi ki guarantee. What is Gupta ji ki guarantee?
No, I would stay away from that. It's the team, it's the brand hero, it's people. I would say it's a people power, it's the brand power, and the brand is very strong. I'm only here to enable and to charge it even more through our changing gears, and just as I said, speed, scale, synergy, and simplification, and we move forward. Should be. Absolutely, no doubt about that.
So nice to meet you again, and thank you very much for your time. And that's it on
Thanks,
this
Nikunj.
show of ET Now on the Go.